The sun beat down on Accra, Ghana, its heat relentless as Kofi sat at the back of the lecture hall at the University of Ghana, fanning himself with a tattered notebook. His stomach growled, he hadn't eaten since the previous night. His father, Papa Kwame, lay in Korabu Teaching Hospital, coughing up blood, his lungs ravaged by a disease the doctors couldn't yet name. The hospital bill was 10,000 cedis, but Kofi's account held only 150 cedis. His thoughts drifted far from the lecture on macroeconomics, fixed instead on his father's frail frame. After class, Kofi trudged back to his hostel in Legon, each step heavy with worry. His roommate, Desmond, was lounging on his bed, scrolling through his phone, dressed in a crisp designer shirt that screamed money. Desmond's life was a parade of new gadgets, flashy clothes, and confidence Kofi envied. "Bro, you look like you're carrying the world," Desmond said, glancing up. "You chopped today." Kofi shook his head. "No money." Desmond sat up, his eyes gleaming. "Kofi, you can't keep starving like this. Your papa needs help, and you're here suffering. Let me hook you up. I know someone, rich, clean, generous. He likes respectful guys, no stress. One night, and you can pay your papa's bills, maybe even buy his meds for a year." Kofi's heart thudded. He'd never considered such a thing. But the image of his father, weak and fading, was too much. After pacing the room, he whispered, just once. "For Papa." That night, a sleek black SUV pulled up outside the hostel at 11 p.m. Desmond handed Kofi a fitted black shirt and a wristwatch. "Look sharp," he said. Kofi's hands trembled as he dressed, staring at his reflection. "Just one night," he muttered. "For Papa." The man in the SUV was tall, with a shaved head and a silver chain that glinted under the streetlights. "You're even finer than Desmond said," he said, his voice smooth as velvet. Kofi managed a nod, too nervous to speak. They drove to a boutique hotel in East Legon, its glass facade glowing softly. The man booked a penthouse suite, handed Kofi a glass of mango juice, and said, "Relax, I'm not a monster." Kofi set the juice aside, his nerves fraying. The night blurred, details slipped away like smoke. Kofi woke alone in the suite, the man gone. On the bedside table sat an envelope stuffed with 20,000 cedis and a note, "Take care of your father. I'll find you if I need you." Tears welled as Kofi clutched the money. That day, he paid the hospital bills, and Papa Kwame's treatment began. For the first time in months, Kofi felt hope. But a month later, the hope crumbled. An itch started, faint at first, then unbearable. A foul, rotten smell followed, then sharp pains in his lower abdomen. At a clinic in OSU, a nurse prescribed antibiotics, but they did nothing. 2 weeks later, Kofi noticed his boxers were damp, not with urine, but a thick, blackish fluid. One morning, in the hostel bathroom, he froze in horror. Maggots, tiny, wriggling, alive, crawled from his body. He screamed, collapsing to the tiled floor. Kofi woke in a hospital bed, the fluorescent lights harsh above him. Desmond stood nearby, his face pale. "Kofi, what happened?" he asked, voice shaky. "Maggots," Kofi whispered, his throat dry. "They were inside me." The nurse frowned. "Maggots? That's impossible." But Desmond's eyes darted away, his silence heavy. Tests came back normal, STD screenings, ultrasounds, blood work, all clear. Yet Kofi knew something was wrong. That night, alone in the bathroom, the pain returned, sharper, like a blade twisting inside him. He looked down and screamed again, more maggots, slimy and white, spilling onto the floor. He flushed them away, trembling, his reflection in the mirror unrecognizable, hollow eyes, cracked lips, a shadow of himself. He confronted Desmond. "You said he was clean. You said it was safe." Desmond's voice was barely a whisper. "I didn't know he still does that." Kofi grabbed his collar. Does what? Some guys who went with him, they lost their minds. Others bled out. I thought he'd stopped. Desmond's eyes filled with tears. He paid me to bring you. Kofi's hand connected with Desmond's face, a sharp slap echoing in the room. You sold me. Desperate, Kofi followed his father's advice and sought a renowned priestess in a village near Tima. She sat on a woven mat, her face painted with white clay, her eyes piercing. Before Kofi could speak, she said, You carried a demon that night. Your seed was stolen. Kofi's knees buckled. I didn't know, he sobbed. The priestess's voice was grave. The man you met belongs to a dark society. They trade men's vitality for wealth and power. Those maggots aren't physical, they're a sign from the spirit world. Kofi clutched his chest. Can I be free? Only one way, she said. Confront him. But first, you must cleanse yourself in the sacred river, Voltaire's whisper, for 3 nights. If your spirit is strong, you'll survive. If not, she didn't finish. Kofi nodded, resolve hardening. I'll do it. At 4 a.m., Kofi walked barefoot through a forest path with the priestess and her assistant, Adwoa. They carried a calabash, palm oil, chalk, and a broom of palm fronds. The air grew colder as they neared Voltaire's whisper, a river said to see all truths. The priestess chanted, and the water churned unnaturally. Step in, she commanded. Kofi stripped to a white cloth and entered the icy water, his body shaking. The priestess tossed an egg into the river, chanting, If his seed was taken, let the river show it. The egg cracked, oozing black liquid. The priestess gasped. It's confirmed. His essence was buried. She swept the water around Kofi with the broom, chanting fiercely. Pain seared through Kofi's abdomen, and he screamed, doubling over. A voice echoed from the river, he must return the price, or the curse remains. Kofi collapsed, sobbing. I don't even know his name. The priestess's eyes darkened. Find the one who took you to him, your roommate. Back at the hostel, Kofi confronted Desmond, locking the door behind them. His name. Now. Desmond's hands shook as he wrote, Nana Yosapong. Kofi memorized it, the name burning like fire in his mind. He searched online but found nothing, no social media, no records. Nanayo was a ghost. Furious, Kofi pressed Desmond. Where is he? Desmond whispered, he has a lodge near Airport Hills. High security. No one gets in without an invite. Kofi donned a hoodie and took a trotro to Airport Hills, a gated enclave of wealth. A street vendor pointed out a mansion with a black SUV. That's Nanayo's place. Strange things happen there. Some boys go in and don't come out. At the gate, 2 guards blocked Kofi's path. I need to see Nanayo, he pleaded. They laughed. No appointment, no entry. Kofi mentioned his name, but they shoved him back, slamming the gate. That night, Kofi woke screaming from a nightmare. He was trapped in a coffin filled with maggots, Nanayo looming above, adorned in red beads, whispering, I didn't just take your seed, I own your future. Kofi clutched his Bible, tears streaming. I need the priestess again. In a dark compound in Accra, Nanayo sat before a shrine, candles flickering. He poured palm wine into a cow horn and spoke to the shadows. He's awake. He wants to fight. Let him come. He smiled, sipping his drink. Kofi returned to the priestess at dawn. She was waiting, her face grim. He knows you're coming. Shadows block your path. Kofi recounted his dream, trembling. The priestess prepared a ritual mirror of cowhide and blood, lighting 7 candles. Look and don't speak, she warned. In the mirror, Kofi saw himself in the hotel, refusing the juice. A white powder was blown in his face, and he collapsed. Then, a shrine appeared, Nanayo, in red beads, buried a wax figure of male anatomy in a clay pot, chanting, "Give me power. Take his future." The mirror showed Kofi older, childless, broken. A voice echoed, "Unless he returns what he took, your life is cursed." Kofi screamed as the mirror darkened. "He buried my seed." The priestess nodded. "He must unbury it himself, or his blood must touch the oath's ground." Kofi stood, whispering, "Then I'll make him bleed." That night, Nanayo found a red cloth tied to his gate, scrawled with charcoal, "I want my seed." He froze, sensing the war had begun.